So this is a more updated version of the story that I told you in my first video. So basically everything that I told you up until middle school was exactly the way I said it happened. It happened that way. Now in middle school, basically everything I said happened that way. Now high school, when I got up to the 11th grade, really, the end of 11th grade is when it started. About how my friend told me she liked me and all that. That was true. Well, basically, what happened after that is that at first she asked me if I would go back, and I was like, no. That's not true. I don't. No way. I can't afford to like you back. I can't let myself think that way because I've grown up. Almost every home I've lived in has been very religious, and I'm a very religious person with my Christianity, and I didn't think that being, at the time I wasn't sure what I was, now I know I'm pan, and being a Christian could even be connected. I thought that being any form of same-sex sexuality was wrong, straight up wrong. I was gonna go to hell, whatever. So I told myself, okay, Mandy, you have these feelings, you have these attractions, but you will not tell anybody that you know would judge you, whether they would be for or against you. Just keep your mouth shut and hope it goes away. Well, one night I was at my cousin Jade's house up in Nebraska, and we'd always been close, and so I told her all about Wendy, all about it. And she said, we were just talking, and I didn't really realize that it was feelings. I didn't really know what it was. I knew that I cared about her more, and I cared about all my other friends, and I knew that I cared about her in a similar way I would care about a boyfriend, like someone I would date. But I automatically said, no, I'm not that way. I'm straight. I like guys. I just feel this way because he's my very best friend and the one we're really close. Well, one night, I was at my cousin Jade's house. I told her the whole story about what happened, about how we'd been friends for years, and she asked me out, and I said no, and she could tell I felt bad about it. And then what she said to me just blew my mind, because it was like the last thing I expected to come out of her mouth after I told her the story. And her exact words, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the evening of July 9th, 2013, and I was sitting up in her room in Wahoo, Nebraska, and she said, do you have feelings for Wendy? And I said, yes, like in a shameful way. But then we talked some more. Her best friend was bi or pan or something, and so she knew about that kind of stuff, even though she wasn't that way herself. So we talked a couple more times about it before I went home, and she said, last day before I went home, we went for a walk that morning before breakfast. And she said to me, I think even the straightest people in the world get a little bi-curious at some point in their life. This is probably going to go away. Don't beat yourself up over it. It's okay, basically, is what she said. So I said, okay, maybe it will go away, whatever. And I come home and I start talking to my boyfriend all the time, and I convince myself I love him, but then, I convinced myself I liked him. I called him once a week. I wrote him twice a week, like I promised I was gonna do rest of the summer. She comes to see me Labor Day weekend, a year ago today. And we go for a walk, and she asked me, has it gone away? How do you feel about it? And I felt exactly the same as I had that night up in her room. So she basically told me, it's been 2 months and it hasn't gone anywhere, Mandy. You're not curious. You're not curious. You're some form of LGBTQ, PPM, etc., whatever. So, just accept it. It's okay. I'm glad you're my cousin. Whatever. So that night, we're sitting at the table, and she says, are you upset? And I'm like, yeah. Freaking out. A big part of me is different, than I thought. So she asked if I wanted to talk to her mom about it. And I say yes.
Are you taking a picture?
And so basically, that...
Your video is in your forehead, right?
Holy crap, I was halfway through the story. So basically, that night... the four of us sit down at the table and talk. Her and her sister and her mom and me. Goodbye. Get out of here. Okay, anyway, so they basically tell me, do whatever you gotta do, but your guardians are judgmental, and keep your mouth shut. Basically, be quiet about what you do. Don't share anything with them, and be careful, basically. So I start talking to the girl again. I tell her she was right. I didn't like her, and what were we gonna do about it? We were fixing to get together. All I had to do was break up with him, and give me a couple days to, we knew my mind or whatever. Not get over him. We spent 4 months together, but take a minute to breathe, and then we would get together. In the time that I broke up with him and was taking a day or two to think or whatever, she went and got back with my ex, who was also her ex, and I'm basically screw y'all, whatever, I don't care. And then she got with this girl too and started cheating on me. I'm like, haha, better you than me, whatever. So after that, we didn't speak for 3 months. And then one day, she just randomly messaged me, hello. And the night of Christmas, hello. And I say, hey, I think it's time we talk about things, whatever. So I go outside in her car. Basically, we ended up dating because she was single, I was single, and I really wanted a girlfriend, and I really liked her, and whatever. So even though I was getting tired of dealing with her, I really wanted to give it a shot after all that mess I went through. So we get together. Like I said in the other video, she cheated on me 5 times in 8 days. And then after that, I guess I took some time to recuperate. About a month later, went back to boys, and then KJ, my ex, and we got back together. And then his dad dies like a month later, and he becomes this person that I didn't know anymore. But he kept saying, give me some more time, so I can give him more time to feel things, stay with him but he's not who he was before. He will never be who he was before. Even on his best days, I don't know who he is, and I don't know how to love him. But I'm not in love with him anymore, basically, you know. I could if I tried, I think, but anyway, so she screwed me over. He had turned into someone I didn't even know, so I turned to Val, my second girlfriend, and she was the most beautiful, sweet, lovely person on the planet. Double D's, beautiful, just, I loved her. Nice hair, nice body, I loved her hips. Oh man, I mean, she was perfect. Sweetheart, I mean, you know, she was the perfect package. And then, you know, we decided that, well, we'd been best friends since we were 12, and that at graduation, we'd break it off and things will go back to normal. But in those 3.5 weeks, I fell in love with her. Like, I fell hard for her. We would hold hands all the time, and we would make up crazy excuses to hang out and get our friends to leave us alone. I mean, I fell in love with her. But in the end, she wanted to end it, so couldn't really do anything about it, so we broke it off. And she's moved on. I haven't yet, but I'm working on it. And that's a little bit more detailed story of what happened. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.